Hey guys, it's me again. So I promised you another video, and I'm taking advantage of the lingering sunlight. Because as you can see, I'm still just using my little lamp. But yeah, so I wanted to talk to you guys about two things really. I wanted to talk to you guys about the two games I've been playing. As you guys know, I've been playing Pokemon Go for a while. Well, they have a new thing going on this week where Team Rocket is invading the game. And apparently how it works is, like, if you're out in looking for, like, Pokestops and stuff like that, every so often you'll come across a Pokestop that seems to be glitching out, and it's a little bit darker than the usual one. Well, if you get there in enough time and spin it, you will encounter I believe they call them grunts from Team Rocket. And they come out in, like, the anime outfit and all that, and you apparently have to battle them. And it's very much like if you battle, like, another player or whatever, and if you battle your friends, or if you battle one of the team leaders. And it's fun because apparently if you battle them and you win, they leave behind what they call a shadow Pokemon, which is just your normal Pokemon, but it's got, like, it kind of looks like it might be a ghost Pokemon, because it's got, like, the dark aura around it, and it's kind of got the little psychic thing going on, and its eyes are a different color. So, and apparently you can purify, your Pokemon. The Pokemon that you get. And so I think that's kind of cool. And actually, I almost got the chance to interact with one today because I've been wanting to go out. There is this park that is not too terribly far away from where I live. It's not within walking distance, but it's almost right across the street from a grocery store that both me and my parents go to a lot, or have gone to a lot. And so it's this big park, and it's got, like, a ton of both Pokemon Go and Wizards Unite stuff. And so I decided I was going to go. And also because I wanted to take a walk, and you know, there's a difference between I don't know. I always get bored taking walks, like, out here because there's really not anything around. There's only one stop and one inn for Wizards Unite, and that's ways away. And you have to go off of the road and go into the grass and stuff. And I'm always nervous when I walk on, like, grass and stuff because it's rough most of the time. It's not like smooth grass. It's, you know, there's little holes in there and stuff like that, and animals might build nests in the ground and stuff, and they don't want to step into something like that. But anyway, so, you know, I'll go there occasionally, mainly with my niece if she's over, because she plays Pokemon too, and we go and we, you know, explore it and everything. But yeah, so this park is called Walker Johnson Park, and it is really a very cool park. It's a very cool park anyway, even without the other stuff, because you've got, like, a place for skateboarding. You've got several trails you can take. It's really close to the police department. That's right, police station. That's right off the road. As a matter of fact, as I was walking, I came across these signs that went off in different directions. One of them said, to the police department police stations. So apparently if you go on one of these paths, you'll end up at the police station. So always good to know in case, I'm out there and something happens or whatever. But so it was really fun. And then there's baseball fields and all that kind of stuff. But there were a lot of kids out there today. And so schools must not. Well, it's the middle of summer. So yeah, there were a lot of kids out there. There were a lot of parents with, kind of hanging out with the kids and stuff like that. And there's like playgrounds, and there's like a little shelter, museum kind of thing. And there's all these different little signs and things. And so everything in there basically has been assigned something. So I went in there, and I went back and forth between Wizards Unite and Pokemon Go, and got to play Fortress. I will have to admit I'm still a little nervous about facing spiders because they're big. They're like the I almost said Everman hybrid. That's not the right thing. The Elder Scrolls Online type, and the weird thing is, and in Elder Scrolls, it's kind of okay because there's two ways of playing. You can play like first person where, if something's coming at you, you can see it. And then you can play where you're kind of hovering above your character and you can kind of see things coming. I much prefer that way because if something eight-legged is kind of large is coming my way, I prefer to see it coming so I can choose to either A, run away, or B, have some warning before it's on me and in my face. But yeah, that's the main thing that I'm worried about, is that these things, from all the videos I've watched and everything, it seems like they're going to be right there. And so I'm just kind of like really nervous about that. So I haven't tackled one of those yet. I will let you guys know when I do. I probably have to upload a video to let somebody know, because I will need to probably be like, but yeah, so it was a lot of fun. There were tons of things to click on, and there were a bunch of different types of inns, and stuff, and so I got full up on spell energy. I still have a huge ton, but I haven't gotten all my foundables yet for the day. And they even had a couple of the severe or the high threat level foundables and stuff like that. So I had a lot of fun. And then as I was, because there's this one spot right in the middle where there's these statues, and that was where the fortress was. So I was trying my hand at the fortress, and then I went back to Pokemon Go, and all of a sudden, off in the distance, I see a Pokestop that's like, it's like glitching. And so I was like, and so I walked towards it as fast as I could, and it was off by where I'd parked my car. And I got to it, I spun it, and it must have gone away. And apparently you have to get to it by a certain time or else they disappear. But yeah, so I was like, I don't know how close I was, but it was just interesting. I don't know if I have to spin the Pokestop or if I just go to the Pokestop and look at it and it'll say Team Rocket, or whatever. So next time I'll have to double check and I'll let you guys know. But, so the main thing I want to talk to you guys about is, of course, Escape the Night Season 4. Now, first off, I do have to say, of course, spoiler warning. So, if you haven't seen Escape the Night 4, go ahead and watch the videos, because I promise you they're worth it. And I think right now it's like all the videos are available. Joey's put up like all the videos and made them available again. And so, if you want to watch and get caught up. But basic premise, it's basically like those murder mystery parties that people may have been part of. I know I was a few years back. But you basically go, and it's a bunch of YouTubers that are doing this, and Joey, I think, handpicks each person to participate. Well, this year it's All Stars, so like Survivor All Stars or Big Brother All Stars, but it's Escape the Night. So you have all people from past seasons, except for one person. His name is Brentman, and he is hilarious. I love him. He is, adorable and funny and just really fun. So, but he's the new guy this year. And, so, basic premise, Joey, in episode 1, inherits a house. And this house is like speaking to him or something. And it's like he has to invite other people. So he invites his first group of friends, of people. And something about the house is cursed or haunted or something like that. And he basically, one by one, his friends start dying. Now, first person who dies is Shane. And I remember, because I think this was my first reintroduction to Shane Dawson, because I used to watch him way back in the day and stopped watching him for a while. And then I think this was my first, oh, he's still around and he's still doing things, And so I watched Shane, and then that gave me the motivation. I'm going to check him out and check out his videos, and now I'm subscribed, and I love the whole clan: Shane, Ryland, Morgan, Garrett, Drew. I'm subscribed to all of them, and yeah. So but yeah, so basically, Shane's role apparently is that he works for this organization called the Society Against Evil. And they are trying to figure out what is going on with this house. They know something's up with the house. They know that there's something bad going on with it. So they send Shane in. Well, Shane is the first to die, in the game, in the story. And I had to laugh. First time I saw it, it was like Shane was like laying down, he was hovering. It was like he was laying down, and they were like, if we don't get this hand out, he'll die. And he ended up dying. But, so anyway, but basically it went on from there. And from that point on, it fell into a pattern of what happened is that they get some kind of artifact, or they get a key, or they get something that will help them solve the problem, something that will help them get out of the situation. But it's like, other than Shane's death, it's like they have to vote for which two friends of theirs are going to face these challenges. And I mean, some of these death scenes, oh my gosh, these people. I mean, first off, it's really interesting because Joey revealed a while back that, that they don't have a script. They don't know what's going to happen before it happens. And so they just, so, you have people like, Justine, who was buried alive, and it fit in with the story that was being told, but it was really interesting because it was like, because these people, they may not be professional actors, but they act their hearts out. I mean, Justine, first time she died, she was just, she was all, she was like, somebody has to be buried alive, because they ended up rescuing somebody or freeing somebody's spirit who had been buried alive. And then they were like, and now we have to complete the cycle and bury somebody else. And so they all voted for Justine. And Justine is just like, no, guys, don't put me in there. I will freak out. Do not, and they're grabbing hold of her and they're putting her in, and she starts screaming, and it's just like, and then in last season, they had kind of a similar thing with Colleen Ballinger, who basically, it was kind of the same thing but a little different. So she all throughout this whole episode, the particular episode where she died, but even before then, she was kind of like, I don't know if I trust Joey. I don't know if Joey is telling the truth. I don't know if he's blah blah blah. And it's like, and so everybody's going like, and so everybody decided to vote to kill Colleen. And so they all surrounded her and they were all pushing her into this, like a torture device or something. It had like spikes around it, and they closed it, and she starts screaming, and I'm just like, and it's like, it's not real. There's like a trap door in there, and she stepped out or ducked down or whatever and was able to go to the behind the scenes section. But at the same time, you're watching and you get invested, and then you're just like, no, I can't believe they did that. Which leads me to my first, there's been a lot of theories that have been posted about this show. Okay, so anyway, the main plot of this season is that there is this person called the Collector, and she has basically kept a lot of the players. She has two different ways she's preserved them. Number one, she preserves some of them in glass cases, and she has them as part of this exhibit. And she has this huge museum filled with like many different areas and stuff like that. And so she basically is like, is keeping everything secure and locked up and all that. And it kind of reminded me a little bit of, also don't know if you guys have seen Doctor Who and the whole Clara dying thing, but it kind of reminded me of that when he went back and took her at the moment of her death and was like, so she was technically dead, but technically alive, and not really. But anyway, so, but basically, from what I understand, the series, so what they have to do is Joey is working now with the Society Against Evil. He even has a jacket with their cool little emblem on the shoulder. And he goes in with Brentman, who we don't really get a backstory for. We don't know why he's with the Society, or if he's just one of Joey's friends who, knows and what's going on and said, I'm going to go in and help you, that kind of thing. Well, what happened is it wasn't just Joey and Brentman. It was Joey, Brentman, Matt from season 3, Matt from the Game Theorist, and Nikita Dragoon. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But she's like a beauty girl, I think. I don't really watch her, so I don't really know for sure. But, yeah, so she, so it was gonna be the 4 of them, and then, of course, the 2, Society Against Evil people who were left over from season 3. I'm not so sure I trust the Society Against Evil, but we'll get into that. So, basically, one of the first theories that I've heard, and this is from, I believe her name now is Calebit. She used to be Lilbit. But she still does videos online, and she still does all that. But she posted an interesting theory about how she thinks the Collector, who is this very noble-looking, very royal-looking African lady, how she is protecting the, not only Joey's friends, but the whole museum. She's got everybody. Matter of fact, when it first starts, the whole museum is like dark, and she's got everybody all locked down. Nothing's activated. Nobody's doing nothing. They're just all in like stasis or whatever. And so, but the interesting thing is how it starts. Is there some sort of accident in the glass cases room, and Liza Koshy, breaks out of her case, and she's looking around, and she's just like, and she looks at Alex in his case for some reason, and she's like, I'll be back. And she runs out, and she finds herself on this balcony, and the balcony, has, apparently she can't go anywhere at this point. I don't know. We don't really get to see the view from the balcony, so we don't know how high up she is, or if there's any way she could get down. But she gets distracted because on that balcony is a jar, and it's full of souls. So some people the Collector has put in stasis and all that, and then some of them she's taken their souls and put them in a jar, and they're all together just swirling around and stuff. And I have to admit, when they did the trailer for this, it fooled me, because I can't remember if it's I saw Liza, if I just heard a voice say, "Oh my God, Shane!" And then of course it goes to one of the monsters, and so my mind immediately goes to, they turned Shane into a monster, but no, he's just a soul floating around. But it showed how season 3 ended was Joey went back into the carnival because he was like, I need to make this right. I need to change, I need to save everybody. And so he goes back, and the carnival master, who was the main villain of that season, had like a giant crystal. And so Joey rips it off. He's looking into it, and all of a sudden Liza pops up. And she's like, Joey, is that you? You need to save us. We need help. And then all of a sudden the door behind Liza opens, and out walks this collector person. And she's like, what are you doing? I can't do her accent, so I'm not going to try. But it's like, what are you doing out of your exhibit? And Liza's just like, who are you? Where are we? What is going on? And of course, the collector gives a little bit of exposition, and she's like, you are all in my museum. And, and Liza's just like, and she gives her choice. She gives Liza a choice. She says basically, you have two choices. You can go back to your exhibit, I'll put you back in, and everything will be fine, you'll be safe. Or, and she doesn't really go any further than that, and Liza's like, no, I'm getting out of here, and I'm rescuing my friends, and, I have people who are hopefully coming, and blah, blah, blah. And so then, what's her name? The collector kills Liza and takes her soul. And that's when she reveals that that's what this is. Sometimes I eat the souls when I'm hungry. And I'm like, what? I thought you just said you were protecting everybody. So that leads to this one gal's theory. And that is that because there's a song that plays at the end of every single episode. And the song, it basically, I'm not even going to try to sing it because I can't remember the words or anything, but apparently it basically talks about, you're in my museum, you're coming to take these people away, I am protecting them. You're screwing this up. You're wrecking it by coming here. Well, normally I would just be like, oh, that's interesting. But Joey himself brought up, because the first time he breaks, like I said, and here's the issue. Joey, Brentman, Matt, and Nikita, plus the two Society Against Evil people, show up, and the Society Against Evil people are like, we'll make a portal, we'll go through, we'll get you friends, and all that. Well, something happens, and the portal doesn't stay open. So Joey and Brentman make it through, are the only ones who make it through the portal. And so they get through, they're all like, what, where's the others, And Joey's just like, we gotta save them, come on, we'll do what we can. I'm sure they'll get through eventually. And so they run off, they find everybody, Joey smashes the thing that's keeping everybody in stasis, and all the glass cages shatter, and everybody goes, and everybody's like, Joey, what are you doing here? Because let's be honest, for most of them in their season, the last thing they knew was that Joey was the reason why they were all dying. So anyway, it's interesting. And so anyway, this gal, Calebit, she has the idea that the collector, because of this song and because of certain things that she says, she thinks that this collector is protecting. And because, like I said, not only is the museum completely and totally dark, and that's their goal, they have to sorry, I have to find keys for each and every area to unlock each new area of the museum. And they've got it's so cool. I mean, the people who run this show, who produce this show, they are awesome. If I'm ever in a movie, I would want to be a movie with their company because, I mean, they go all out. There's ancient Chinese, there's Mayan culture, there's Egyptian culture, there's all these things. And all the NPCs and all the characters that are part of this, they're just so cool. And the monsters look so super freaky and cool. But yeah. So, but what I find interesting, why I think this might be an interesting theory, is because, like I said, each and every season, it always falls into the pattern of they have to do these challenges and they have to vote two of their group in. And only one person usually comes out. And they've switched it up before. Like in season 3, they had both the contestants who were doing the challenge survived, but then one of the monsters came into where everybody else was and killed one of the people who weren't in the challenge. And it was just like, what? I didn't know you could do that, And so that's really interesting. But even Joey has mentioned, that, this is turned from a rescue mission into a survival mission. Because once again, it's the same thing. They have to vote each other in. And what amazes me, it's been 4 seasons and they still go into the same thing. Instead of trying to work together and trying to be like, no, we're going to find another way of doing this, they fall into the same pattern. And it's like, well, this person didn't really help with this challenge, or this person just kind of sat around, and this person's mean, or whatever, and it's like, it just kind of makes you wonder. It's just kind of like, do they really deserve to be saved? But, I mean, I know they're just playing roles, and I know they're acting and stuff, but it does really make you wonder, with 4 seasons here, this being the 4th, and how quickly they go back to the same, throwing each other under the bus and all that, and it's just like, not so good. So there's that there, and like I said, there's a song that plays at the end of each and every episode, and it's something about, you're ruining everything, and Caleb thinks it's the collector talking to Joey, and that Joey ruined everything by coming here, that she's protecting them. Because apparently they're not dead yet, but they were caught at the moment of death. So it's like, and she's put them in stasis so they'll be safe. And then here's the other thing I heard. And this one was from MatPat. MatPat made a huge theory about this. And going over the entire season and everything. And he basically said that there's been words, that there's been little clues given throughout the whole series so far about an old god or somebody who is behind, because like each season has its head bad guy. The Carnival Master was season 3. The Sorceress was season 2. I don't remember who the first one was. I don't remember if we had somebody for the first one. Anyway, so pretty much every season so far has had a main villain. And in this one, it's the Collector, or at least we're led to believe that she's the villain. She may not be, or she may be, I don't know. Because then there's that whole eating souls business, and it's like, if you're just protecting people, why would you need to eat their souls? I don't know, but yeah, so she basically, so like I said, each season has kind of had its main villain, its main, this is what's going on. But there's also been talk, and there's been like clues and things written out, things said, that apparently MatPat believes that there is a big bad, that there is somebody who is behind the whole thing, that he is behind all this stuff. And if that's the case, then that might make more sense as to why everybody falls into the same old patterns. Maybe they're being affected somehow. And it's like one thing, I can't remember if Matt said this in his video or not, but one thing that I found interesting was that, and I mentioned this before, when we start this season, the museum is dark. Nothing's on in the museum, and their goal for each episode is they have to find a different key. A key that'll unlock the next portion of the museum. So they start out with it being completely dark. No lights except for, what they need to get around and stuff. But, nothing's active. In other words, so like every museum, so every exhibit has to be turned on by turning a key. And so the issue, and it's like, if this theory about the Collector actually protecting everybody is true, or at least to some extent, then that would make sense as to why the whole museum was dark. Because maybe she's just keeping everybody there, and I believe it was Matt, because I think he said something about, how the Collector may be keeping everybody safe from the big bad. And so, and he also brought up the Society Against Evil, who I think is a little suspicious. Now, seasons 1 and 2, I didn't really think anything of them. Because I was just like, oh, they know about this. They sent one of their agents in to try and figure out what was going on. Season 2, I don't think really mentioned them that much. I don't really remember them being mentioned all that much in season 2, but season 3, they played a big part. That was when we were first introduced to, there were two people, a guy and a gal, who were, because when Joey died at the end of season 2, because remember the sorceress stabbed him, and he was left in the coffin. Well, he was apparently, it was land, if I remember right, he said it was land between life and death. And it was this town called Everluck, which had a carnival, and I can't, really super cool concept, or really very cool monsters, very cool graphics, that kind of thing. But the thing that really interested me is, like I said, we got our first big look at the at least two agents of the Society Against Evil. And what I found weird about that, well, number one, there's a whole beginning scene where Joey was like in purgatory or whatever, and it was like, and they were the ones to say, not the carnival master, not anybody else, but they were the ones to say, you have a chance to get back, but you have to sacrifice your friends. Not some of your friends. You have to sacrifice your friends. And at the time, I was just like, what, does that mean everyone's gonna die? Because that's what it sounded like. And then it quickly fell into the pattern as before, which is fine. But it kind of blew my mind a little bit. I was kind of like, what did she say? And so he writes out this contract and signs it with his own blood, which most good guy contracts don't have you do. You do not have to sign in your own blood. So there's that. And there's also the fact that when Joey first shows up, the two characters, the two Society Against Evil people, are standing outside the church where the carnival master is, and they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. They're not surviving, or they're not going in there. They're not kicking butt. They're not doing anything. Now later on they do. Later on they go in, and I think actually they get killed and then get brought back to life or something. Oh, yeah, I remember, because in season 3 we had the little thing, I don't remember what it was now, but they had something that they could use to bring back a member of the team. And they chose to bring back Napat, of course. Napat. And so, which I thought was really cool. And so, but then at the end, they use it again. And they bring back the Society Against Evil people. And let me just say, when they come back, they're just like super strong, super fast, super, and all that. So we've only seen, in season 4, we've only seen them for a brief little bit at the beginning of the episode, when they're sending people into the portal. But I also find it really interesting that only Joey and Bretman made it through. Maybe that was planned. Maybe that was planned all along. But then again, I don't know, because I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I don't know if they're just... Like, Matt brings up this one scene in his theory. It's at the end of season 3, where the carnival master is, like, yelling. And he's yelling at Joey, Matt, and Nikita, who are the final 3. And he's like, you are involved in a war you know nothing about. You have no place in. And Joey's just like, what? And, all of them were just like, what? And so what if the Society Against Evil isn't really the Society Against Evil, but it's like another organization that, for some reason, is going against whoever this big bad is. And keep in mind, I don't think we've really even seen the big bad. But also keep in mind that a while back, this was way back before this current season started, one of the first indicators that something was going down was Joey posted a picture on Twitter or something of the season 1 house, and he said, "How did I get back here, evil devil face?" Now, we have yet to see that house again, which makes me think that eventually it's gonna come to a head. We're gonna go back to the beginning. We're gonna go back to season 1 and find out what all that's about. We're gonna find who the big bad is. We're gonna find who's really behind all this stuff. We're gonna see... Because here's another little theory that I've come up with. Because it seems like wherever environment all the players are in, they tend to be affected by it. Like in this one. And again, major spoiler. If you haven't seen the latest episode, go and see it. But 2 of the surviving people are Alex, whose girlfriend died in season 2, and they've broken up by this point, but which I totally missed, but whatever. And Daystorm, who is this guy, he seems to relish playing a bad guy, but not like a big bad guy. He's just more of a... Kind of reminds me of a growling dog that's chained up and everything. It's like, I'm gonna act all tough, But it was fun, because they were... they had to get a key from this one person who was part of this one exhibit. And Roseanne Panzino ended up having to marry, it was like the emperor or whatever. And Rosanna had to marry the emperor. And so they're standing there afterwards or at the wedding or something, and their entertainment is 2 of the cast members, 2 of the players have to face off in the death match. And it was really kind of cool because they had to navigate around this board. It was kind of like Chinese chess. And so they were Alex and Daystorm, and they started off at opposite ends, and they were like, they could only make certain moves. And while Alex ran out of room, and Daystorm, who up until this point has been acting rude and mean and just, I'm gonna do whatever I can to survive. All he says is, this is for Lauren, who was Alex's girlfriend at the time of season 2 and who died in like the very first episode. And he makes an illegal move and saves Alex. And I was just like, what? At the point, I was just like, what just happened? And it took me a few minutes to be like, oh my gosh, he sacrificed himself so that Alex could avenge Lauren, his former girlfriend. And so I thought that was kind of cool. I thought that was kind of, because like I said, it always amazes me how people in the group will react to challenges, how they'll react to finding out they have to vote for challenges, finding out they have to vote other people in, their thought processes on who to send in, and, nobody wants to volunteer themselves and stuff. But I think Daystorm was the first noble sacrifice of the entire story so far. Or this season's story. So he's just like, this is for Lauren, and steps out of bounds, and he allowed the distraction so that they could get rid of the Emperor. And so I was like, oh, and the other really interesting thing is the Countess from season 2 is apparently a part of this museum as well. And she is on the player's side, but she's only on their side because she wants to be in charge of the museum. She wants to get rid of the collector and run the place herself. So, I mean, it's funny. They run to her in like episode 2, I think. And Joey is just like, you killed me! And he's just, and she's just like, she's still her manipulative self, but she's like, we have to work together. Because I want a gun too, for my own evil purposes. And then there's Mortimer. Mortimer is back. Mortimer, if y'all remember from season 3, there were 2 helpers. There was Mortimer, and there was Calliope. I think Calliope died, if I remember right. And Mortimer ended up turning evil or being influenced by the evil or something. And so he ended up betraying the team. But the funny thing is, he did that after Colleen had died. And so Mortimer shows up very first episode, and he's just like, you guys, he's in the, like, they're all rounded up and they're all put into this area, and all of a sudden you see this figure, and I'm like, and then he turns around and Colleen's like, Mortimer? You're here? And she doesn't know. She doesn't know that he betrayed the rest of the team, or, doesn't know. And so she's like, oh, thank God you're here. We can use your help. And he ends up being one of the NPCs. He ends up being like the card person, the one who holds up the cards that everybody voted on and all that. And Joey shows up. And of course, Khalid didn't trust Joey in season 3 and was here though killed because of her lack of trust. So she does not trust Joey at all. And so she's like, Mortimer is my buddy, And Joey's trying to tell her that Mortimer betrayed them, that Mortimer fell into the evil, and that he, and Colleen's not having any of it. She's like, I'm not listening to you. So, I don't know. There's a lot to take in, but there is a lot to there's a lot to deal with. And I don't know what's coming up next. Tonight was the Ancient China section, and it was funny because they were separated. Like, the guys were all separated and had to do their own challenges, while the girls had to go in and become the one that the Emperor chose to marry. And I always love the little backstories they get. Like, the Emperor was this dude who obviously did not want to get married. And yet his mother was like, you need to get married. Your enemies want your head. They will, we need an heir, And for that, you need to take a wife. And he's like, well, fine, There's this whole thing, where they all the girls have to dress up and, do their thing and try to, and at the very end, the guy dies. Or, I never know if, like, the exhibits or the monsters, if they actually really die, or if they just go poof and go wherever, But yeah, so, anyway, those are kind of basically my theories. One of them isn't mine, as usual. Kale Bit, I think is her name. You can look her up on YouTube. And she's got, like, some really interesting theories and stuff. But I honestly don't know. I mean, the collector may be protecting the others, but then on the other hand, there's that soul jar. And her mention of eating souls. And you gotta wonder what that's about. Because if she's protecting everybody, then why... and even, like, the monsters. Why are all the monsters from... Like, they have the new monsters, but then they have the accountants, and they have monsters from past seasons and stuff. And it's like, why are they there? I don't understand that whole thing. So, but, I don't know. I just find it really interesting. And I'm anxious to see what they come up with next. But, like, I don't know if I said those, but, like, Joey has even said it's become less of a rescue mission, more of a survival mission. We all have to survive. But instead of trying to make sure everybody survives, they're still voting each other off. Which is why I have to think that whatever environment they're in, and maybe whatever big bad there is affecting them so that they fall into the spirit of the game. Because seriously, if there was some big, all-powerful deity Wouldn't he just be able to be like Thanos and be like, you know, yeah, y'all are dead. Now what are you gonna do? You know? But it's a game. Every single season it's been a game. It's watching the numbers dwindle. And there's been a couple survivors every season. Now, I do find it interesting that, like, the survivors from season 1 never came back. Matter of fact, they made it pretty abundantly clear that, like, Joey sent them invitations, and they were both like, nope, not doing this, not doing this again, and destroying the invitations and all that. And it's like, yeah. And plus, also, there was something in the season 1 house. And, like it said, he inherited that house. And there was something about the deed, and they had to destroy the deed. But Joey decided to keep the deed for himself. And at the end of season 1, you see a little bit of black go in and kind of discolor his eyes really quick. And it was just like, oh. And that was the other thing that I thought was interesting about MatPat's video, is because he spent the whole thing building this up to Joey's evil and Joey's doing this, and it's like, and then at the end he was like, but I don't think Joey's really the problem. I think Joey's influenced by the evil. And I kind of agree with that. So there's something going on. There's something apparently behind whatever, whoever because like in this season, the Countess isn't really, she's still a bad person, but she's not the big bad of the season. She's the one who's, matter of fact, I find it interesting because we haven't seen the Collector since the very first episode, when she does a little exposition for Liza before killing her. But, or does she? And then that's the other thing. It's like, are these people, because that was the thing. That's the whole stakes in this whole season, is, they were saved from death, but if they die in this season, then they're sent straight to hell, apparently. So I'm like, yeah, but who said that? The Collector? Do we trust anything the Collector says? But yeah, so I could go on and on, but this video is probably going to be long enough as it is. But yeah, so I'm gonna end this here-ish. But let me know what you guys think. If you guys have seen the episodes, and what do you guys think? Do you guys think there's a big bad behind everything? Do you think that it's, because there's gotta be something. There's gotta be something that's like in the, behind the scenes, kind of like, sending his minions, his or her, could be her, minions out to, get rid of that. And why? Why go after YouTubers? That's what I find interesting. Anyway. But yeah. So, as usual, I think it's been a really great season so far. I can't wait to see what happens next. And I still believe we're going to go back to the old house. I think we're still going to go back to the season 1 house. I think that Joey is going to, at the end of the episode, he's going to find out, oh, by the way, your friends aren't really dead. They aren't really in hell. Or maybe they're in hell, but they have the chance to be rescued. Or something. I don't really know. You know? And it's like, you have the chance to do all this, but you gotta go back to the beginning. You gotta go back to where this started, with the house that you inherited. And that brings up a good point. What do you do with the deed? Is the deed still around? Is it locked away somewhere? Is it buried? Is it burned to a crisp? And would doing anything to the deed actually release the curse or whatever? Oh no. Oh, and the last thing is that at some point we're supposed to get Nikita and Matt. Nikita and Matt are supposed to be finding a way through. Although some people have said they act really weird. They're acting very unlike themselves. And so I'm like, is it really them? Are they being affected by or are they under a spell by the Society Against Evil? So anyway, but yeah, if you guys are interested, leave a note down in the comments. Say which theory you like the most, what you guys think. You know, what do you guys think is gonna happen? How do you think this is gonna end? Do you think it's gonna end with Joey saving everybody? Do you think it's gonna end with Joey having to sacrifice himself? Like in season 2, I mean, he was sacrificed, but it was the Countess. It wasn't by his choice. Do you think he's gonna have, do you think Daystorm sacrificing himself is foreshadowing that Joey's gonna have to sacrifice himself? That he's gonna have to say, leave my friends alone. Release all of them. Take me. I'm the cause of all this. I'm the reason why all this is happening. And then maybe he wakes up in the season 1 house and there's a new load of people and, you know, and they have to save him. Could be. I don't know. Good question. But, yeah. So, let me know what you guys think. Leave a note down in the comments. And thanks for letting me ramble about this for a bit. As you know, I'm quite excited. I always like this series. I think this series is very interesting. And I like the challenges. I love the fact that it pits the girls against guys, and the fact that it pits people against each other, and like their baser instincts come out. And so just let me know what you think. Anyway, guys, I'm going to cut it short here. And thanks for sticking with me this long. And I will, hopefully, my parents come back on Sunday, so I don't know when I'll be able to get another video out. But it's been great talking to you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.